This is the Actor Factor podcast with Brad Ashton and Diego Garcia. Today's guest is actor and comedian David Borne.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Actor Factor. I'm Brad Ashton.
Diego.
It's good to have you all with us again. Diego, how's it going today, man? Happy day to you.
Another good one.
Another good one here. Another beautiful day in sunny Los Angeles, California.
I'm getting excited. I've realized I love getting excited to do these podcasts because we're getting so much wonderful information. And I'm excited for our guest today.
Yeah, I'm super excited for our guest today. I'm excited for our guests every day. It seems like
Same.
we just keep getting good ones.
No, I think that's the point I was trying to make is when I wake up and I know that I'm doing this, it's like you can't go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, the only way you can go wrong is if you don't show up. If we didn't come here and we didn't talk to these people, then our guests wouldn't have our listeners wouldn't have all the information, right? Which is very valuable because in the industry, you need information.
Yeah, because we're working actors.
We are working actors. I've been doing a little bit of work. I had just recently, I had to put myself on tape just for a little co-star part. You know, I say little, nothing's little. There are no small parts.
Just want a part.
Yeah, and as every day goes by and you get these auditions and then you don't book, you start, getting a little discouraged, but I'm not getting discouraged at all. I'm getting anxious. It's like you wake up and you're ready to go to the podcast. And I feel that same kind of anxiety when I get an audition. I'm like, geez, I want to get back on set. I want to get, walk onto the stages. There's nothing like it when you park on a lot somewhere and then, you're going to set. It's just like you got to hit your trailer, you're getting checked in. Just that energy, that feeling is just so different.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of the best.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, well, maybe
maybe I'll book one of these that I got coming up as well. Little self tapes, voiceover auditions.
I'm putting it out there for you. I think that you will. I think the time is now for you. If something's gonna pop, and you're getting super close.
I mean, it's been fun. I was just thinking the other day, like commercially, I think I've been on TV every year since I've moved out here.
What, really?
Yeah.
That's freaking
like
great.
Just from the moment when I booked my first commercial back in 2000, got Taft-Hartley, got into the union. And since then, every year consecutively, I've booked at least one, if not, back in, I think in 06, 07, 08, I had like 15, 16 commercials running.
That's crazy.
And it hasn't been that busy like that.
That's crazy. That would be.
But
that'd be epic.
I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And things change as you get a little older.
Yeah, we play different roles. We get into different categories. You go from being the lead guy to dad.
Yeah, getting matched up with a wife or matched up with the kids. And they're like, well, we're going to use these kids and you don't look like these kids, so we're not going to use you in this.
You got to believability in the birth. You never birthed these guys. You didn't come from your sperm. Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. It is weird to transition as an actor, and I started realizing that too, because my grays have started to come in. I'm not coloring. I'm not going to color. I'm just going to go with it. And, but I start looking at it and I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I should.
I said the same thing, but you're looking at my hair now going,
I didn't look
he's coloring it. I mean, come on, he's older than me and there's no gray up there.
But the thing is, you can't tell. You actually look fantastic, man. I think that I don't know. It's weird. I'm just going to
I think you just got to feel comfortable in your own skin. And honestly, like 2 or 3 years ago, I made more of a conscious decision to kind of see if I could get healthier than I was when I was in my late 20s or 30s. And I started doing that, and I started thinking about things like that. It's like I wanted to accept that gray. I was going to go ahead and but I didn't. All of a sudden, I'm looking at myself on camera, and I just don't feel like that's what I look like. And if I'm a casting person, which we've done before, I think we have good insight in seeing, what's right and what's wrong for a character, as we read it.
Sure.
And I just felt like I wasn't ready to play 50, 55-year-old, late 40s guys, know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that are our age, at that, or my age right now, they have kids and families, and I don't have that. So now they want to put me in these scenes with a wife and kids. I'm not familiar with what that's like having kids,
Yeah.
So there was a new transition, a new chapter, and I don't know. I guess I'm accepting it graciously.
That's all you can do is accept it. If you try to fight it, it's not going to help. It's not going to change anything, right? You're still going to get older. You're still going to age. Things are still going to happen. Don't fight it. Embrace it. And you look fantastic.
I'm feeling good.
You look great.
And your gray is not that bad to be worrying about it right now anyway.
Well, you know what? Thank goodness we're doing a podcast and not a broadcast. All right, because I have a face and hair for radio.
We both do.
But it is good. It is a lot of fun, and I am excited about the coming days. I'm excited about the past, the present, the future, and current auditions that I do have. And I'm looking forward to more. My favorite thing to do is to get up in the morning, check an email, and see if I have any C-mails, from the Actors Access or from the agent saying, "Hey, you got to get out there and put yourself on tape." They want to see more of your tapes, Brad. They love your tapes. They love your tapes.
You're the best auditioner I know.
Hey, I'm a professional auditioner, and that's what I say I am. That's what I call myself, and I'm actually really good at auditioning, so I'll brag about it. I don't care.
Right. Good to be good at something.
Yeah, and speaking of which, our guest that we have today is really great at a lot of things, and I'm ready to get chatting as soon as you are.
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it.
All right.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, here we go.
You're listening to The Actor Factor.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to The Actor Factor. We are here with our guest today, David Borne. David, welcome.
Hey, good to be here. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, man. Really happy to have you here. I want to pick your brain.
Pick away, my old friend Diego. So good to hear your voice, and I'll talk to you again, my old friend.
For sure. Hey, so what do you got going on right now? As actors, sometimes if we don't have auditions or we're in between jobs, we like to keep ourselves busy. Maybe you're just auditioning, you just got off a project. What's going on with you right now, Dave?
Actually, about a month ago, we finally wrapped up on production on a family-friendly film called Old Man Jackson. And it's about a guy that goes out and has a series of unfortunate comical events over a 2-day period. And I played the lead in it, Andy Jackson. We worked on this thing for like 22 months off and on because we started when COVID was out, and then the guy lost some money, and then we came back and got money, and then my hair got cut working on a different film we'll talk about, and then it grew back out, and we used hair attachments, and we finally wrapped it up, and it's in post. It's going to be coming out January. We have Robert Lasardo came in and worked on it with us, and he's helping us out getting some distributions for it. Richard Riley came in, who I worked with on Texas Chainsaw. Kathy Garver from the television series that was on, 50 years ago, Family Affair. She played Sissy. She plays my older wife.
Oh, my God.
So we have a great cast. Even Butch Patrick came in from the Munsters, the guy that played Eddie Munster.
Yeah.
Johnny Ray Gibbs directed. How he gets these people to show up, I don't know, brother, but we wrapped it up, and it's looking good. It's pretty funny, and we're waiting for that to come out in January. And besides that, just auditioning stuff, auditioning for a film called The Bounty Chase, shooting in Mississippi, trying to see if I can land this hardcore kind of sleazeball guy, but you never know. Give it a shot, man.
Do you like playing the sleazeball? A majority of your resume, I mean, you have a very extensive resume, and anybody who's listening, tuning in, you got to check them out on IMDb. This, when you get up to 100 or over 100 credits, it starts getting really insane. But do you like? He's played everything. He's played everything. David's been, good guy, bad guy. But David, do you like being the good guy or the bad guy more?
A bad guy is always more fun to play. It just seems like they just have more dramatic stuff, and you get more chances to really test your acting chops and show a little more range. But it's rare do you get a chance to actually be funny. But if they ever have these projects that come along, like The Lion Game or this particular film, then it sure pays off being a stand-up comedic person and funny person, because nothing like being funny, man. But yeah, it's interesting because, my hair is longer right now, and I'll audition and pull it back and for these really heavy roles, and I'll keep it long for these kind of comical roles. And whoever beats it to the contract is the one who says whether the hair stays or goes. And that's how it was with the Martin Scorsese project I read for. I pulled my hair back. By the time I got to the damn set, the hair had really grown out. And he's like, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah, you chop it all off. We got to change your look. Deal. So you were talking about your stand-up comedy, and let's everybody who's listening, let's let everybody know where you got your start. Houston, Texas, right?
Right on, brother. I'm a Houston, Texas man. University of Houston School of Theater graduate. I went to San Francisco and did some training at ACT, American Conservatory Theater. for a year, and then booked back with intentions of kind of hooking it out of here. And then met a woman, got married, started having kids, started working full time, started making a living, started getting SAG insurance to the union, doing so many different projects. I said, hell, let's just stay here. And so I tried to do stand-up when I was earlier, but I have a big resemblance to a man named Robin Williams.
So we're going to talk about that. Yeah, that's amazing.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And even before I had even seen his work in high school, our work was compared. So you talk about being cut from a stone who's already stolen half your glory. You're like, wait a minute. So
he took my career.
But I turned out doing a tribute show I do to Robin Williams. And in fact, in the last 3 weeks, I've done 2 headlining events as Robin. I do an hour 15 and get up there and do stand-up as Robin Williams with a little of my material and some of his best stuff. And man, that'll keep you on your feet, getting out there in front of the audience for an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't trust any other man to do something like that. You're always so quick on your toes for just about anything, which is the same. Like Robin was, you can go in any direction. You're prepared for anything and everything, I feel like, when you're on stage.
You really have to be, because the thing about Robin, what I love about Robin's show, and I went back trying to do the David Borne as Me comedy tour. The jokes just don't hit as much. Robin was a really good actor, and he did a lot of acting in his shows, a lot of performance, a lot of voices, a lot of characters, a lot of going, oh, I just came up with an idea. Then I'd see the show a second time and go, oh, he came up with that same idea twice in a row. He's so good. He's convinced us he just made it up. Beautiful theater, right? We're seeing it for the first time at night. Just like a play, like me and Diego did. We did Rough Crossing down in Galveston at the Strand Street
Theater, man, back in 95, 96.
That was fun down in Galveston, bro. That was fun.
There was some good times. I was living in that theater for a little while. I was homeless for a little while, and I was living in the back.
Haunted Strand Street Theater?
Yeah, the dressing room back there.
Living the true theater dream.
James Belcher was directing, the artistic director at the time, wasn't he?
That's right. He sure was.
I actually, I went to University of Houston myself and worked with Sidney Berger, which I know you studied with Dr. Berger, right?
Indeed, I did. Yeah, I went over there in 83. I went part-time at the downtown college with Dr. Tom Little, who really helped train me and really did, because it was a small department. My grades weren't good enough to get in Central Campus. I flew off school, man. And the story goes, I took drama as a junior in place of college-bound English because I was taking air conditioning and refrigeration classes. I hated school. Oh, wait a minute. 2 days into the class, I went, lines, dialogue, character, can't stop talk. I'm an actor.
Yes.
Boom, right? And but yes, I got to go in '83, and first semester we did Amadeus. He directed Amadeus and cast me as the emperor. And all the students are going, "Who's this guy?" Yeah. I'm like, hey. We did a lot of Shakespeare together, many years at the Eastern Shakespeare Festival, and several other plays there, Tartuffe and Romeo and Juliet, and great stuff. Yeah, I love Sidney. He was an incredible Shakespeare. Again, Cecil Pickett, I got to study with a lot. The great Cecil Pickett, he was still there.
Huh. Yeah, I got in there in 96, and so I got the pleasure of Dr. Berger. He used to run things over there, Carolyn Houston Boone. We were lucky to have Edward Albee come in there and teach directing classes. Uta Hagen taught a master class. Jose Quintero, who started Theater in the Circle in New York, was there for a little time. So it was really cool. Looking back at it now, I wish I had taken more advantage of it at the time, because I didn't really understand how great those people were until after the fact.
Well, I tried. You had to be a playwright to get into the Edward Albee playwriting class, but he'd go out and watch his stints, and he even directed a couple of his shows. So, I got to audition for him and hang out, shoot the breeze with him. And, he was just a really, really wonderful artist and man who was very interesting, but, he cared more about and noticed more things than you noticed in life. And Mr. Quintero was amazing. I got to do the workshop thing with him when he was doing that. And so, he has to talk like this because he no longer has his voice.
Yeah, the laryngectomy, that's right.
And it's still just brilliant. I mean, it's just the oozing of, it's every actor's dream to be able to do scenes that have Mr. Quintero critique you and give you ideas and hints. And you're like, wow, right here at the University of Houston. Yeah,
he was absolutely fantastic, and I remember working. He loved. He was a lover of Tennessee Williams, and I mean physically, and they had a relationship. And so he would always teach Tennessee Williams scenes. He would always give us scenes to do, and then first thing he would do is he'd give us a scene. We'd get up there, start working, and he'd immediately kick the girl out, and he'd come up there and work opposite you, and he would like look into your eyes, and oh man, he was intense, dude. He was so good though. It was so great, man, being next to a master like that. And for Edward Albee, I actually got to sit next to him. He was friends with a good friend of mine at the time, and then we all three went to go see a play in Houston together, and I sat shoulder to shoulder with him. I thought it was the coolest thing. He was just in a hoodie like a little hermit, but a super cool guy.
Right on, just hanging out with Mr. Albee. Here's Edward.
And then he ends up writing the play about the baby for Curtis Billings, who was my friend at the time. So.
Curtis Billings got to go out and do that performance at the Alley and wrote that role for him specifically. I got to see that. It was a beautiful production. What I really liked about it was that, it was inclusive. We had this high-end artist here, and there was a lot of very good talent that they took advantage of that were able to work at the Alley Theater, like I did. I was able to finally hop over to the Alley and did 6 years as a contract actor of work as an equity member, and that took a long time to crack that egg, But
the Alley was super hard.
And hell, I did 6 years of A Christmas Carol. That's 250 performances of A Christmas Carol. That's a lot of turkey.
You maybe hate Christmas by the end of all that, but Houston's a really great city for the theater.
I liked it. It was short and easy, but theater was great in Houston because that's really how I started out. I went through finishing theater here and training with Chris Wilson, great Chris Wilson, and my buddy Brandon Smith and Jim Jeter, these legends in the industry. And Chris really was instrumental in helping me found my path out of putting too much into my acting, and it really helped me. Just even Cecil Pick and I forget once he said, "David, you really changed in this last production in this class you're doing. It's like overnight your work has changed. What happened?" I said, "Well, I took your class, Mr. Pickett." And he goes, "Oh, don't say that, David. We're having lunch." I said, "No, it was actually Chris Wilson. She had me slow down and go back and review a scene we did on Friday and said, look at it over the weekend. She never told anyone to do that. She was a real hard dog, grand dame. Miss Critique America, Miss Chris Wilson. She was, boy, you talk to her. She was like the Stella Adler of Houston. And I came back on Monday and completely underplayed everything I did. She goes, "That's it. Perfect. No critique. I think you found it." And I went, "Wow, that's enough?" She goes, "Yes, David. That's more than enough."
Wow.
And I realized then that I didn't have to stop. She got me to turn my corner from doing something to being something. Becoming something, and it really broke a window for me that I got to go to ACT and do all the great stuff. So next thing you know, we was in Houston, but it's been interesting. There's probably not been a television series shot in the state of Texas for 25 years I didn't work on.
Yeah.
Because, they just keep rolling through, It's pretty interesting. I keep looking at it. Back in the day, you could do as many Walker, Texas Rangers as you wanted. You could just be in one a season. Isn't that nice?
Heck yeah, Walker, Texas Rangers.
I know that's what everybody was wanted to get an audition for and just get on at the time. David, we might have to do a quick edit.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We're gonna take one little pause. We'll take a little pause here.
All right.
They have a little dog here that just had surgery on her leg the other day and on her ACL, and she started stirring around all of a sudden. So we're going to take her. He's going to just walk her out real quick for a quick second.
Or ACL, you're not supposed to start your dog in football. You put an Adrian Peterson on the dog. And it's a dog going around the back corner here. We had it off the body. Oh, she's taken out. It's a hard head. She pulled her ACL. I didn't know a dog had an ACL.
Yep.
My wife pulled an ACL. She tore her ACL in 2014 when I was working on The Duel.
Really?
Yeah, the movie Woody Harrelson and Liam Hemsworth movie. Take care of yourself. That lasted about 24 hours. Okay. It was so bad she couldn't have surgery for a month until after it happened because it had to be able to straighten her leg out.
Oh, my gosh.
And she just had to crawl around while I was out there.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Liam.
How are your sons doing? Everybody good?
They hanging down, doing their thing, just working. One never went back to the theater. He just kind of went away from it, doing different kind of stuff. Worked for SCI Corporation, doing pool work, and the other one works for Cinemark.
Right on.
Oh, cool, man. Well, how's it going out there? How's the town in LA, man? Y'all getting auditions? You getting reads? How's it going? What's the business like?
Yeah, we are. We are still getting some auditions. Thank goodness. That's one of the conversations we've been having here in the past. It's like sometimes we say, "Man, we're not getting any auditions," and I'll tell some of my actor friends out here, and he goes, "At least you're getting them, bro." And it's true. The realization is we are grateful for any and all auditions. But I've been doing more voiceover stuff too, a lot of voiceover English dubbing things, which has been consistent this last few years for me. So that's been really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
You've been taking just dubbing stuff into English?
That's right. And it's mainly like the Latin TV shows that are going into Netflix, whether it be Argentina or Mexico or shows that are coming in from there. And these last 3 years, I just get brought in to sometimes, actually, this last job I was doing 4 or 5 different voices. It's my voice. They don't, it's interesting in English dubbing, they don't want you to put on accents. You're not putting on character voices. They just kind of want you to have a clean, delivery.
Standard American dialect.
So maybe I'm just speaking, with a little higher tone or a lower tone or something if I'm trying to distinguish 4 or 5 different other characters in the series,
Right.
But I love it. I love that work right now. It's just nice because I feel like I keep just another audition, another thing to just kind of keep things warm and current and busy.
Yeah, I did this video game. This guy, it was kind of Robin Williams. I wish I could get some copies of it. This video game they created, and I was the guy narrating the whole thing. It's kind of Robin. It was kind of funny. And
wow.
How they had where this guy we're dubbing a German film that was in German. I was kind of doing a Richard Attenborough delivery. I was this famous, very important, known scientist that was trying to, of course, make this witch go away.
Yes.
Yeah. And look, finally happy to do that. Finally, last week, I got an audition with some more anime here in Houston. This guy that I know named Kyle Jones, man, has been doing it forever. And apparently they're kind of taping some more stuff down here. So I'm going to try to see if I can slide some in, do some more anime. That'd be nice.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, that's
it's fun. You don't make much money here in our state because it's all cheap-ass stuff. It's fun, though.
So much work, though, man, out that way.
It's good. A lot of it up there. Once I went up to Dallas and they went to those companies, man, nothing. I even had an agent up there that I read for one time for an entire year. I must have read for voiceovers, for Funimation, I must have read over at least, I'm thinking, I ain't shit, 30 or 40 different auditions. And each time I'd read for 3 or 4 voices. All different kind of shit. I never booked me one time.
That's amazing.
After doing 40 titles down here in Houston and having a big history of a lot of shit I did. Some big ones, some big roles too.
Yeah.
And just nothing. I was just like, well, I guess I'm just too far away. But Jason Douglas had no problem. He moved up to Dallas and became the king of anime.
That's wild. Well, man, you never know where your career is going to sort of take off from in the voiceover world. I feel like it was one of the things that I was told, like, it's so hard to get into, but once you get into it, you start finding really consistent work. And
Yep. Once you're in it, everybody uses the same people.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the same people are used over and over.
Now we just lost Kevin Conroy, one of the best.
Yeah, how about that? That guy for 30 years, he did the voice
for Batman. Yeah, he was a client over at the agency that he was. I think he was at Abrams when I was out there back in the day, and then he moved over to Imperium 7, where I'm at. But yeah, that was a big loss for the voiceover community.
Well, I'm actually about to try to reach out more for my Robin Williams show. Is really funny. I've been having some incredible shows, so I'm trying to reach out more with some agents in Miami and Las Vegas and Europe to get on more cruise ships because they're missing out. This is my audience on that cruise ship.
Oh,
that's
for sure.
People. That's my people. My 45 to 75, hang on to your ass. That's it.
There we go. Yeah, that sounds right up your alley.
Kills with them, just kill. No one does what no one can do what I'm doing. There's only another guy that does it, and I'm getting older and kind of hard to get more auditions. Everything's fucking self-tape.
I know.
But man, it's a pain in the ass. I never get to feel your vibe in the room anymore, man. It's fucking maddening.
You know, we had some previous interviews, and that's something that keeps being brought up is the whole self-tape thing. You know, it's like, it's like I felt like I'm kind of old school. I want to go in and I want to light up a room, but now I can just do as many takes as I'd like and send the best thing in and hope for the best. It's just such a different feeling, such a different way of auditioning. Everything's changed.
Well, I know. People go all out on them, too, sometimes, depending on it, you know. I tell you, when I was working on Texas Chainsaw 3D with this one old boy, he had just got cast in the big Western that was being shot. And he said, oh, yeah, when I read for that part, man, I mean, I made it. I went all out. We got kind of a little set. I got the makeup and all fucked up, made myself look like shit. I tried to make it look like I was making a test, a movie test, you know. I was like, damn, really? He's like, yeah, man, I did. He goes, and it worked. I got the damn part. And I'm thinking, that's tough, brother.
Yeah.
Can't believe that you'd have to do that. Hell, that was, you know, a guy who's done, that's Paul Ray. Paul Ray's done a lot of stuff, you know. He's done some leads, some TV movies, and it was the True Grit film. So I'd read for True Grit, and he liked me on a couple roles, and then he read for this guy who betrays him and gets his hand stabbed. And he said, that's pretty much what I looked like in my audition. I said, no shit. He goes, yeah. I said, that was back in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed a lot, you know.
It really has. Yeah, we were just talking, you know, about self-taping over going in a room and lighting up the directors and lighting up the you know, the producers and having that. Because I know, Dave, you're really great in person, and having, you know, being stand-up and just, I feel like what a great skill to have, man. Just to add as an actor, to be in a room, to be able to just really fill that room. You have that.
True. Hey, are we back yet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we kind of just started going back in. We probably might use a lot of it anyway. We'll see.
We'll just keep on rolling.
That's pretty cool there. Yeah, because, but, you know, I guess we're kind of talking about, you know, what's happening down here in Houston. So it's kind of interesting because, you know, my career in Houston started out with a ton of theater and then did a lot of commercials in the region. I was doing pretty hot and heavy with the commercials, but we did a lot of corporate film back in the day. Mm-hmm. They were all union films. And so, you know, we'd shoot a day, a week. I'd get flown out of state to do these big corporate films. And hell, you know, we'd qualify for insurance benefits and pension credits doing corporate films. And then I, you know, was just great training. But, you know, the whole time I'm like, I want to transition from the theater and I really want to do more film. And so I always kind of knew that for me, my 40s and mid to late 40s was going to be my time when I started hitting my film. And that's kind of how it played out. You know, so Friday Night Lights, the TV series came along. I booked a recurring on that for a couple of years, and that was like 2008, you know, and I was, you know, just still, you know, in my 40s, you know. I remember I went out there. In fact, I remember I went out for a pilot season in 2007 and signed with a great commercial agent. Boy, it took 3 weeks to sign with KSR, but I couldn't get a theatrical agent. At that point, I thought I'd done a lot of work. And after I did my stint out there, I did get a commercial agent, read a lot, and I booked the next best thing as Robin Williams on ABC. Yes, let's go down and pretend to be Robin. I've been doing it officially, stand-up-wise, for only a couple of years, so, you know, I did the best I could. But, you know, I tell you what, when I was in L.A. and I did the L.A. auditions, because they did auditions around the country, the next best thing, looking for the best impersonators in America. I made the finals, man. I got the semifinals and the finals. And
wow.
Nothing like getting seen by 6 million people to get the phone ringing.
That's right. Yeah, and that was the Robin Williams you're talking about. That was on the Community, right?
Yeah, and then after that, I got booked on several things. So the fact that I was out in L.A. doing the pilot season meant that I was there for the L.A. audition for the next best thing, did the Robin thing. Then I got Tim and Eric Awesome Show, Access Hollywood, Family Feud, Celebrity Lookalike Week. Remember that one? I was out there.
Yeah.
We hung out and watched the Walking Dead Season 2 premiere after that, I remember.
Wow.
And, we won money. We got to keep it. Yes, we did. It was me and Bono and President and David Letterman. It was cool, man. And then I ended up on Community. I think it might have been Community when we were watching Walking Dead that I did a guest star on. There's Robin Williams. And over there, you drove me out to the lot, Paramount, right on? That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Diego did. So it's kind of weird how that segued into getting invited back in. And you'd be surprised, though, when I was working on The Highwayman in 2018, came out 2019, and boy, I tell you, The Highwayman on Netflix with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson has been probably one of the biggest films I've been in as far as overall numbers of people who've seen it. You know, I can do lots of television series. I can do everything from, you know, Constantine to Killer Women to Revolution to of course, Friday Night Lights and all these different television series. But unless you follow that series, you're not going to see me. Movies, a lot of people see it. And it's the law enforcement version of Tracking Down Bonnie and Clyde. And I play the Louisiana sheriff. Ooh, Henderson Jordan with a deep Louisiana Cajun accent.
Yeah, you're great.
Pull my hair off of that show. And we kick ass in that one. And a woman on set, the makeup lady, at that time, we were shooting a scene with Woody Harrelson in the studio, and we're in break. I worked on it for about a month. And she walked over, she goes, "Hey, David, you know, up there in that scene with Woody from the side, you kind of look like Robin Williams." Really? Really? I said, "Well, what's your association with Robin Williams?" She goes, "Well, I was his makeup artist when he did Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm V. Neal."
Oh, wow.
So bad. V. Neal. V. Neal. I said, oh, she was, I had him in the chair every day, you know, and I did everything, different stuff with him, and I did the latex, and I just loved him. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was really saddened when what happened to him. And I don't talk about Robin on set. I separate my film from my impersonation. I don't bring those together. And I told her, I said, well, actually, you know, I do an impression of Robin in the show to him, and I'm doing a documentary called Robin Williams, The Price of Fame, that airs this Sunday night on the Reels channel. And we're going to cover his battle with Lewy body dementia, which is a fatal 3 to 5 year terminal form of dementia that Robin got. That if you're the past 3 years, there's not much life left. It's Parkinson's meets Alzheimer's with paranoid schizophrenia, and there's no medicines to stop the hallucination. Robin fought hard for his life, but the Lewy body just took it away. And so I kind of told her about that. She goes, "You have to do some Robin for me." So I said, "Dear, I could do some right now for you, dear. Don't worry, Miss Dean. These are right, dear. He fought harder to the end." He said some crap like that. And she goes, "Oh," she started laughing. She goes, "Oh," and she goes, "Oh, and now you made me cry."
No.
I said, "And now I've made you cry." And she goes, and so it was a real small moment. It was in the dark with me and her and 2 other people. And at that time, I didn't quite realize who he was. And I just I let her know he was okay, and that, you know, that's what happened. And it was something clinical, and, you know, it was out of his hands. And she told everyone on the set that I was on that. And next week, I showed the work at Kevin Costner, Woody Harrelson, John Hughes. These guys are going, "Hey, David, it was a really good job in Price of Fame on Sunday night."
What a moment.
Wow.
What a moment.
What? She goes, I said, "What happened?" I said, "Well, you told V. Neal, and she told everybody because she loves Robin." And Robin Williams' Price of Fame is some heavy stuff we laid down. I get a chance to check that out. I think it's free on Tubi. Robin Williams' Price of Fame.
Yeah.
We have another one out right now I'm proud of right now, dude. We are sweeping awards, and it's called A Spark of Madness.
Okay.
It's a under 10-minute movie short about a possible fictitious moment out of Robin's life after a show in Mosul. And he's trying to invite a military guy who's guarding the door to come inside. Because he says, "Hey, it'd be a lot safer if he came in here. I mean, where's everybody at?" And we were hanging in the wind like a flag no one's looking at. And then eventually the guy says, "I can't come in." I'm like, "Okay." And then Robin comes up with all these ways, and they have this wonderful little connection. And so it's, as opposed to something out of a movie or a recreation of his life, it's a moment you would see in a movie that gets to show the heart of Robin and how generous he was, and how many people that knew him, and what a great memory he had. And it's been touching people across the country. We won I won the Best Performance Award at the Portland Comedy Film Festival. We won the Houston Comedy Film Festival Best Short Award. We won up here at the Austin Film Festival. We recently won, here it is, the Los Angeles Comedy and Screenwriters Festival. We won Best Comedy Film in our category.
Wow.
And so we're real proud of it. It was a low-budget SAG film we shot in Houston in this guy's backyard. And we're hoping that perhaps we're going to be qualifying for Academy consideration, knock on wood.
Hey.
That's amazing, just to even be thought into that. Dude, you're fantastic. I felt like I've always just seen success in you from the moment I met you years ago. We were working on Storytime Theater back in the day, I think is when. And I was putting music to like the old Aesop fables and singing them to thousands and thousands of kids, elementary schools all across Texas. And David was doing the same thing. And I was telling Brad one day about how we went to a corporate event and it was themed. We were like mobsters or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It was like a dinner theater kind of event. And
so what we do is we show up and kind of act like the gangsters, but you coming in the room, you know. Hey, don't show Caputo, you know, it's the Caputo family. You mess with us too much, you end up Caputo.
You're Caputo.
I'm doing that a couple of times coming up here in the next couple of months. Actually, it's a big thing, you know, on Christmas to me doing improv. So dialect is very important. Theater comes back to pay the actor off because you can do all these crazy ass characters.
Yeah.
You can. I can do all these different dialects and Italian and French and Irish and Scottish.
Yeah.
Whatever I need, you know. And we were doing an Irish thing for a soccer tournament recently, and we were the crazy Irish soccer fans, you know. I mean, yeah, why not, bro?
It does. I get
all be picking up cookies from tiny little lizards and going, it's nutmeg, isn't
it? Come on, you can tell me.
I spot Diego spots down here. This year was spot down here next. I ain't seen it in a year and a half, and I go, okay, it's back.
Yep.
Yeah.
They put it back into usage. They took it out of holding.
It's always a good feeling.
Oh my God, I was so grateful for that.
Hey man, speaking of commercials, David Borne. First time, my last big commercial I did was DirecTV, and you can still find it on the internet if you look up DirecTV Dallas Cowboy cabbie commercial. DirecTV cabbie commercial, and it's me as the Dallas Cowboy fans going to New York City, and we're watching the Cowboys on our phone in the backseat of a cab in New York, and he don't like it too much. We auditioned in Dallas. They wanted real Texans, and we did a callback visually, and they flew me and this gal up from Louisiana up to New York for about 3 days, and we shot it, man, in Brooklyn. It was great. And I thought, am I ever going to do another union commercial? 6-7 years later, I finally booked a Valvoline commercial. Yes, I did. And, it's going to be on streaming commercials, so it'll stream, you know, but it's a good one. The woman's trying to get her oil changed at places, and she pulls in and looks at him and then has a funny face when she sees the guy and drives away. And I'm the guy sitting there with the long hair eating a sandwich, staring at her going, who are you?
Nice.
Yep. Hell is frozen over. David Borne has booked a union. Right, television commercial again.
No, any commercial that's airing right now would be lucky to have talent like you in it. It only brings so much flavor to the commercial, man. Gosh, I'm sitting here. I want to watch this cabbie commercial. You know, we got it pulled up on the laptop right now, but who knows how much time we have. Are you a Cowboys fan?
Oh yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I used to Texas fan. It was originally Houston. Oilers fan, of course, you know.
Tennessee.
I grew up because Bob Lilly was their big guy and Roger Staubach, and, you know, they had the great coach up there. And so my dad always loved the Cowboys, and the Oilers started playing more, and we had season tickets. And so now we was Oilers and Cowboys fans, and then we lost the Oilers, and they kind of changed football for me for, oh, dang it, all of a sudden I just didn't care anymore about anything, not even propane.
Oh, I can tell you.
Then I came back, of course, and still love the Cowboys, yeah, and of course, pulling for my Texans. You betcha.
Well, I went the same route whenever they sold the team, and you know, we had all those years without a team, and I actually went to Dallas and started watching some games, and you know, I became a Cowboys fan, and so ever since then I am. And I don't watch football too much now; it's just maybe background noise. But I guess they got a pretty good record this year.
Oh yeah, it's fun. So, I mean, they never left; they're still here. So I'm digging that, man. Yeah. You know, Dallas was a real hot spot for us a long time. The majority of my work would be taking place up in Dallas. We had a lot of TV shows that were shooting there, and a couple of things shot down here in Texas. We're facing, guys, the same dilemma everybody is fighting across the country, and for us specifically, it's lack of film and television tax incentives. So we just don't get them. They just kicked them to the curb. Our guys up there in the office were not too cool about it and not very sympathetic or understanding that, you know, in 2019, Georgia did $6 billion in film and TV. That's $1 billion. And they said, we don't need no money from that. I'm like, really? We could do that. So we're trying to get more of them. But a lot of times I don't know about you guys, I'm still auditioning out of state. I'm auditioning for stuff in Atlanta. I'm auditioning for stuff in Tennessee and Mississippi and occasionally over in New Mexico. But I'm real happy about one thing, and we got these Robin thing. It's cool. I'm up. We'll get a movie going. I want to do a movie deal. I want to be in the theatrical version of it, and I still got enough game in me and enough bite left that I can still play Oda Robin to the end. To really do the Robin Williams movie, we need 2 actors if we want to tell his life. We have to tell his life, and they need to find a guy who can really pull off the early part that's got someone you'd actually want to base a movie around, and that's the hard part. They got me, so we can find the other part.
David, wasn't there a movie where they had a younger Robin recently? Am I making that up, or I thought
no, it was just when we did Robin Williams: The Price of Fame. It was an hour scripted documentary, and we have a young man that came in that played a younger Robin in it. But that was it. There's another actor out there that does some television impressions of Robin, but we're trying to get him involved. But again, it comes, do you want to base a movie around someone who hasn't done a whole bunch? So it's really hard,
That's tough.
I've never really done a version of it. A friend of mine named Roger Cabler just did a movie where he played the character who thinks he becomes Robin Williams. And I mention Roger's name because there's 2 guys in the country that do Robin Williams impression, me and Roger Cabler. We're about the same age, and we're totally different. And Roger had an LA experience for a long time, so we support each other. Why? Because this is art, man. I don't have competitors out there. We have to back each other up.
That's nice.
For sure.
You never know when things are going to happen, guys. I got a great story if you want to hear it about the Martin Scorsese film I got cast in.
Yep, please.
That was a good one. You just never know when you plant these seeds. I have a great New Orleans agent, and I had, read for a movie and didn't get cast in it, but Ellen Lewis reminded the agent that she said, I really like that David Borne guy. We're going to read for this Scorsese film. So I didn't even know it was a Scorsese film. I read for it 2019, like November, and it was supposed to start in 2020. Of course, that never happened. And then it was a really good scene, I remember, and I read for it. And the next thing you know, I get a call in February of 2021. This is, a long time since November 19th. Yeah. And she said, hey, Ellen Lewis called back. They're going back into casting for the Martin Scorsese film, Killers of the Flower Moon. She had forgot you. She said you didn't get that part, but she wants you to do a Zoom audition next week for 2 more parts. Yes. And I got online and did the auditions and didn't hear anything for about 7 days. And they said, hey, they still love you. Want another Zoom audition for you in Fort Base for 2 more roles.
Wow.
Again, for 2 more roles. And then finally got a call a few weeks later that, hey, I booked it.
Nice.
Is that the lawyer? Is that what I'm reading?
And from the part I was playing, the small part, it's a day player role, but it's a very important scene. I know we have dialogue, of course. It's called Kelsey's Lawyer. And Kelsey is one of the major characters in the show, and they have a flashback scene basically with this character, and then I play his lawyer, that he has this scene with, and has my lawyer's name on the door, but we just go by Kelsey's Lawyer in the breakdown. And here's the good luck that happens to you. We shot down, and I went up there once, and we never got to me. They never got to me. They looked at my hair, and they were going to cut it. And they said, no, wait. He said, don't cut it. We literally had it all sprayed out. We're ready to cut it. And they said, wait. Marty says, wait. He may want to revisit it next month when we bring David back. So I went up there for a week. They never got to me. Then I came back the next month for 3 days. I was in and out. They did cut it. And I had a great shoot in Fairfax, Texas, and Fairfax, Oklahoma. Killers of the Flower Moon takes place in northern Oklahoma. It's about the Osage Indian tribe discovered oil. The oil was stolen from them, and the FBI were created for the first time to investigate crimes on the reservation.
Wow. And
Clemens plays the Texas Ranger, and Leonardo DiCaprio plays one of the antagonists, and Robert De Niro plays our lead guy in it, right? So I've never seen so much money spent on a film. I've never seen such street scenes, so many cars, so many wagons, so many people. It was just unbelievable that, and just a diamond of a crew to work with. And we got to shoot in this great scene with Marty, and he was so sweet and such a wonderful guy. And we just shot the breeze because, hey, we're just all there for one reason, to create some art.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
So it was just great to work with him. He said, excellent job. Excellent, David. I was like, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow.
You're excellent too, Mr. Scorsese. And it gets better, so I'm done. I go home. I'm thinking, great. I'm in and out in 3 days. He said it went great. Beautiful, wonderful. Everybody's loving it. such having it together on a set, just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get a call 2 weeks later. They said, hey. I said, what's up? I said, well, production called us back. I thought, oh, shit, something went wrong. I said, no, Mr. Marty wants to know if you'd like to come back. He liked your character and look so much. He wants to add you in another scene.
Wow.
So there's no scripted dialogue. Just because the dialogue, you're the same lawyer, just in a different scene, and you're sitting next to a guy who's in prison, and you're just there representing him. And it's a scene with John Lithgow and Jesse Plemons.
Oh,
and I said, would you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, let me think for a second.
Yeah. Check the calendar.
Back up there and do this 4-person scene and just sit there and watch John Lithgow work, and it was a joy. I tell you. It's something else. So you never know. I think it's going to be a big movie, and I was real happy to work with him. You know, I just love working. Here it goes back to one thing. Louis Calfemi, he had a huge role in The Irishman, and John Lithgow, big theater guy. When I told him I was from Houston, the first thing they asked me was, have you ever worked at the Alley Theater?
Mm.
And then I'm going, yeah, let's talk about some shows. And of course, you immediately go, oh, okay, we get it now. If you're working at the Alley, then I've always wanted to do a show there. I said, well, you should. Theater, man, I love it. It all goes back to that. Because when you have people in the theater, man, they know you're an artist. There ain't no BS.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about stage is
man.
You can't fake it when you're on stage. When you're on stage, you're in the moment. You gotta nail it, or the audience is gonna know. You know, there's no back to one on stage. And those nerves you get. I mean, I remember theater. We still do some. It's but gosh, the adrenaline rush. You know, this is in high school before I was doing drugs and alcohol, and that was like my drugs. You know, just that adrenaline rush. It was so much fun.
Well, it's nothing like it. You know, it's wondrous thing. You know, and it's just so wonderful on those sets. And I've never been COVID tested so much in my entire life.
Okay.
It was lean, mean COVID testing machine, but we got through it. It was going to come out in November, Killers of the Flower Moon. But Mr. De Niro had another film called, I think, Amsterdam that came out in November, where if you look at that advertisement, there's a costume he's wearing that looks exactly like something he would wear in our movie. And so I think because of this similarity and, didn't want to oversaturate the market, I believe Mr. Scorsese decided to push it, he said. And I think that might have been the reason. I'm kind of jumping out there and taking a shot. But so it will be coming out next year. Over $200 million budget film. And
wow.
It's going to be out there, man. It's going to be huge. Killers of the Flower Moon. Happy to be part. That's one of those where I say, I don't have a big part. It's not like the Highwaymen, but you know what? I'm happy to be part of the company.
Absolutely.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, we're just talking about getting some of the auditions, and even if you want to cast me in something where it's the guy sitting next to the guy talking, and I have no lines, I want to do it. I just want to get involved and just be busy and just be working on stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I tell you, playing this, it's the second lead I've had in a movie. The other one is God Thinks You're a Loser. It should be on Cinemax at night. It is a sweet little puppy, a dark guy. It's written by the late, great Gary Chasen. Wow. God Thinks You're a Loser. And I did that when I was in my mid to late 30s, and that was I think it's a good one, man. I think maybe it was my 40s when I did it, but it's a great one. I had a lead role in that one. This one I'm the star in it, so I'm the starring in this one. There's not like being in 80 scenes to get your act together. And we shoot out of order, and we're all over the place, and it's very interesting. But I can't wait to see what happens. We'll again, this is a first time movie maker, so we'll see what happens with it. But it certainly was fun shooting on it, man, for that long.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's like the biggest production you've been involved with, and from that level?
Well, as far as goes, the biggest production I'd say I've been in would have to be Killers of the Flower Moon, budget-wise, of course. Mm-hmm. Old Man Jackson's my biggest role, but that's an independent film, just low budget thing, But these other guys were fairly impressive. The Highwaymen had a pretty big budget on it too. Underground was a great television series. I mean, we were shooting, when I was doing Underground a few years back, I had my hair out, my beard on, and playing a big redneck guy. And boy, he shot on that one for off and on for a few months, and they would shoot 10 to 12 days an episode. And, they usually don't do that. They usually try to wrap it up in about 8, you know what I mean? So they would spend some big money on that one. And it was very successful. And then, of course, due to the second season, they took it out of Louisiana in 2015 because of the tax incentives had been dropped in Louisiana, and they moved it to Georgia. Louisiana finally got the tax incentives back up, so that's a good thing.
It definitely helps. Absolutely, absolutely. Are you live in Louisiana now?
No, I live in Houston, Texas, man. I'm still, actually, I live north of Houston in a suburb.
Oh, great.
I'm still within like 35 miles from downtown, so I just kind of ended up hanging down here, but my work takes me all over, It's
Absolutely, and that's the thing with where we are now, and especially since you don't have to really go in-person auditions anymore. You can live anywhere, and it's a lot cheaper elsewhere. California is so expensive.
Oh, I know, bro. I mean, we bought a house here, about 25 years ago, and my sons are grown, and they put me on tape. All these jobs I'm talking about, I'm booking out of my living room.
That's the way it's done. It's fantastic.
I'm booking out of my living room. I think the last time I had to actually do a callback might have been for Underground, and and of course they had an incredible director. Got to work with that one too. That was just a great show. But after that, everything's been on tape. The Highwayman's great because I get to work with John Lee Hancock, Academy Award-winning director. Just such cool people. That's the second movie I got to work with on Woody Harrelson. We worked a month on The Duel in 2014. The story of Lisa Braga, Woody Harrelson, and Liam Hemsworth. And I played owner of Hoots Bar and Saloon, was kind of Woody's right-hand man. And we got to meet him, hang out with him a lot. Hung out a lot with Liam on that one because we was there for a month, and it was 11,000 people in that town with one bar and one restaurant, and we kind of didn't have much to do but sit outside at the Marriott. It was like we were in a play or a touring production because we had all these street scenes and crowd scenes, so we'd all hang out together, and it was fun. Liam made me feel young. True story, though. We only got to work on a Highwayman, and me and Woody got to become more better friends because we had more scenes together. And I tell you, just a hell of a nice guy. Loves playing. He's vegan, man. He likes playing backgammon on set. Very, very casual. Very into the environment. He has a cool bus called the Mothership, and it's a 1932 Chicago Transit Authority bus that he has delivered to where he works. So, everybody else has got their giant super touring edition, and Woody has this thing that's completely covered with murals from Hawaii of waves and birds and hula gores, and it's completely, of course, all natural. He doesn't plug into anything. It's all solar activated and solar run, and inside it's really beautiful. He has people that help set him up for it. So we got to have a lot of fun on the Mothership.
That's super cool.
We got to go on a trip.
He's from Texas, right? Isn't he?
He's real casual, and I tell you, and Kevin Costner is too. And what I liked about Kevin was that Kevin shooting a breeze with him. It's just like him. We're just sitting around talking with an actor who's been acting for the first 5-10 years of his career.
Amazing.
He's just so casual and so into the role and the acting art we're doing in the scene. It's just so right. I just really had a good time working on that one. That was a heck of a deal.
Oh yeah.
And watching the greats work and just their technique too, and observing it and going, I tell you, it's a lot to be learned there by just being on set with guys like that and having great moments.
Absolutely, that's the best acting class you can take firsthand.
Be a fly on a wall like that and take it all in. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, just to see how it goes from what they're doing to then how it's ends up on the screen and how it comes across and your own stuff too. So it was a good one for me. I was real proud of that one, and we hope to get out and do some more of it.
Well, David, you do need to get out and do some more, but we won't keep you. I know your time is very valuable, and I just want to personally say thank you for dropping all the knowledge on everyone who's listening. I mean, we could honestly talk to you all day, and if we got tired of talking to you, we just talked to Robin Williams. And
it's always around here now. They can talk so quick. You don't have to be to be on 5 minutes. Just hurts now. I can't take it. That's right. You'll laugh, you'll cry to be better than cats. Meow.
Oh my God! Oh man, you got.
But that's another show. I'm not that entire another story.
That is brilliant, man. Well,
David, I miss you. It's so great to talk to you. Like Brad said, I mean, the credits that you have, we can go on for hours. But I'm super proud of you. I've always, like I said earlier, I've always seen success in you. You have such a drive, such an inspiration to actors, and you do such great work, my friend.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, brother. The old friendship. It's always great to see your successes out there, and I appreciate the confidence you and Brad I can always tell people, you never give up, and as long as you're breathing, there's still hope. Remember that.
Absolutely.
Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary, baby.
Absolutely, man. That's a beautiful words of advice. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yo, then, man. Well, I appreciate y'all for the time, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, David. Ladies and gentlemen, look him up
and
turn your TV on. You will see him.
That's right. David Borne. Born, like a baby was born. Man.
Have a good one, man.
All right, David. Talk to you soon, man. Good luck with everything.
Yep.
Bye.
You're listening to The Actor Factor.
That was epic. And
What a pro.
What an epic, amazing guy. Super talented.
Super talented. And I feel like, it's people like him when you see that kind of credits where you think there would be an ego there.
Yeah, and there's not. And it goes to show you too, what he said, he didn't get really started till he's in his 40s, and he knew that that's when his career was going to come. And he didn't give up. He kept going and persevered even into his 40s and started landing bigger things. And then you just never know, guys. Don't quit.
Mm-hmm. Stay active. Get involved. Yeah, he does theater. He does voiceover. He does stand-up.
Yeah.
He's an actor. He plays, actually, we didn't even talk about it, but he plays a mean harmonica. He's super good on harmonica, super talent. So lucky we had him on the show.
I'm so glad we had him. Thank you all for tuning in today. And if you want any more knowledge on David Borne, check him out on IMDb. Watch his movies, his TV shows, catch him on his tour with everything he's doing with the Robin Williams, which is totally brilliant.
Amazing.
Thank you, guys. So see you on the next episode of The Actor Factor.
See ya.
This has been the Actor Factor podcast with Brad Ashton and Diego Garcia.